Because I'm here with Doc and one amazing couple. I want them to say hi. Hi, Kioko.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Hi, Wambo.
Hi.
You guys are looking lovely. Doc. Salama, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
And of course, guys, we're here at Komarok Modern EastLeigh branch, iko Silver Towers. Maybe Kioko zonaweza tuambia today walikuwa nafanya nini huku Komarok EastLeigh branch?
We came to start a clinic kutoka bibi yangu ajua kwa na mimba ama tujue we are pregnant. Hatujai kuja clinic. We've done a couple of scans, yes. Kule Utawala branch. Sasa leo tukaamua we start the clinic hapa EastLeigh branch kwa sababu kwenye tunaishi hapa ndio karibu.
And of course, to Doc, we know you have different branches, and these among the newest. Maybe why EastLeigh? Why did you decide that I'm locating this one at EastLeigh?
Well, Komarok Modern Healthcare started in Komarok. There are so many Somalis, and of course EastLeigh is known for Somalis. So there are clients who left Komarok, came to EastLeigh, and they come all the way from Komarok, from EastLeigh to Komarok. And that way we intend to bring the services close to them. And of course we didn't have a branch near town. There are people who work in town or Upper Hill on Ngong Road, and they want to have an access to Komarok Modern. And that way Utawala and the other branch were a bit far, and that was one of the reasons for us to do a branch near here in town.
Maybe apart from this one, are we expecting any new branch soon?
Well, we are constructing Kitengela branch in 3 months. It should be done. Of course, it's not this size, is bigger. It's in a 2-acre land, so in 3 months we should be having Kitengela branch.
Congratulations. Back to the Kiokos. Kioko, we saw Wambo did a video, and she explained how it was tough the first trimester. Maybe as Kioko as the husband, unaweza tuambia tuaje, how was it, and were you there for Wambo?
Oh, of course. I mean, if you watch the video, you saw me there. Yes. Was I there?
Sure.
How was it?
It was tough, as you've said. And I think these people, whenever they are pregnant, unajua kuna watu mimba ziwasumbui kabisa. Hata mtu anaweza sahau kama ako na mimba. Na like yake ilimsumbua sana. And I think as men, as husbands, as dads, we need to support them. Really, we need to support them. Kwa sababu I saw her change. Hizi mwili zao zina change. Ana lose weight. I mean, all they need is that support. Kwa sababu aki lose weight, hawezi muongezea weight. Huwezi toa weight yako umpe. So what they need is just support.
And we've also seen the Rom twins. Of course, they're lovely boys. Wamependa kushika tumbo ya Wambo. Should I explain here what's happening?
Wanafanyangaje? Wanajua kuna toto.
Wanajua toto anakaa. Maybe are you expecting a specific gender ama akuje?
Mtoto ni mtoto. Gender, I think wanaume ndo wanatoanga gender. But as of now sijui. I can't wait to know.
Si tunakuombea twins, me and my fans, twins, baby girls.
I guess daktari anajua. Yeye ndo anaweza.
Kashajua. Watu tunamtafuta nyuma ya tent.
Tunaomba wakuwe baby girls, lakini hatujui for now. Tunaomba.
Maybe as I finish with Doc, kuna vitu mingi zimekuwa pale kwenye mtandao. Of course, conceiving a baby boy and conceiving a baby girl. We saw Bina did a video amesema ametafuta sana mtoto kijana na ni kama hapati. Maybe is there a hack, is there a trick?
Well, the gender aspect is very controversial, of course. Many people have different versions. There are people who say you need to eat this and this. I haven't seen that work. What I know scientifically is that there's a way you can do the timing. I've explained some women that aspect. I haven't seen any of them miss the dates. So, but the short of it is one needs to have regular periods and know when she's ovulating. That's the most important thing. Some people have irregular bleeding or irregular periods, and that way you may not time your ovulation. Because the way to get a boy is you need to abstain 3 days before ovulation and that way immediately after ovulation, you engage sexually. The issue, like I said, is that when you explain to people like that, but they don't have regular bleeding, and that way they do not know when they're ovulating, then it's difficult to time. But those who have regular bleeding, like they know when they're ovulating, and of course there are signs of ovulation. Some people have, a bit of an excess discharge. Some people get a pimple. Some people have a specific pain either on the left or right side. That way, that is the specific type sign of ovulation, and that way if you abstain 3 days before ovulation and you become sexually active after that, the likelihood of getting a baby boy is more. But it's not cast on stone because of what I've said, that many people do not know when they're ovulating. Yes.
And apart from that, there's been this also P2 issue, and people are like, people always have complaints, nimetumia P2 na bado nimeshika ball. Maybe during ovulation when somebody uses P2, like, is it working ama?
Well, I think the issue with P2 works if it is properly used, because it's an emergency pill. But of course, people also misusing it. It's supposed to be like when someone is raped, when your husband stays somewhere and comes. But there are people who want to use it every day, which is the wrong thing. Because it's supposed to be an emergency. You can't have an emergency every day. So that is misuse. But otherwise, it works. The only issue is if there is ovulation that has already taken place. Okay? If ovulation has already taken place, that means if there was sexual contact, fertilization has already taken place, and that way it will not help. But if ovulation has not taken place, then the fertilization has not taken place, will not take place even if there was sexual activity, and that way the P2 will work. Yes.
You've spoken about people misusing P2. Maybe is there like the limitation, like P2 should be used maybe once or how many times in a year?
There's no limitation really, but ideally, or the right way is it is an emergency pill. Because I'm saying if you use a P2 on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday and Saturday, then it's not an emergency pill because you are misusing it. And of course, we have a lot of people with ectopic pregnancies because of P2. Because when conception takes place and someone has already taken P2, the movement of the product of conception, the embryo from the tube where fertilization takes place to the uterus where implantation takes place, then that is delayed. That means implantation takes place on the tube, and that way people get an ectopic pregnancy, and that's very common nowadays, because of that misuse. So there's no specific number of times someone should use the P2, but ideally it should be an emergency pill. When I ask you what type of family planning are you on, and you say P2, then I get a bit confused, because ideally you should tell me I'm on a coil, an injection or tablets, not a P2, because it's supposed to be an emergency. And like I said, you can't have an emergency every day. That means it's something you have already planned for. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for that explanation. Back to the Kiokos. Ambieni mafans kitu as we wait.
Karibuni sana Komarok Modern Healthcare EastLeigh branch. Ina cover, let's say, around like 10 kilometers radius. That means kama uko Roysambu, hata si Roysambu, kutoka kwa Sukari, kikuja Roysambu, kwenda hivi unaingia Maroroi, Kiambu Road, some part of town, kwenda hivi kidogo, ukirudi side ya EastLeigh, Uruma, najua hizo places zote usishtuke. Kariobangi, Dandora, hizo zote. Wenye wako hiyo area wamekaribishwa sana na kila mtu. Amekaribishwa sana EastLeigh branch. Hapa kuna all services. Daktari nimetoka kuongea naye ameniambia after hapa anaenda CS, right?
Yes.
So kila kitu iko.
And Nicholas Kioko, are you planning to vie for any political seat 2027?
Tuongelee Komarok Modern.
So thank you so much for your time.